Hey guys, Dark Skeleton here, covering the card dump for the Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion set, which you can find on hearthstone.com. And this next card we have to look at is the Iron Juggernaught, the Warrior Legendary for this set. Now, as many of these other legendaries are, this guy's pretty unique as well. It's a 6/5 mech for 6 mana, and that's not the most amazing stats in the world, but you're not really playing him for the stats. His battle cry allows you to shuffle a mine into your opponent's deck, and when their opponent actually draws into that mine, it instantly explodes in their hand, dealing 10 damage to your opponent. Now I've gotta say, that's a pretty crazy effect for any kind of stall deck. It might not have the most synergy with something like Alexstrasza, because if they already blew up the mine, got to half HP, you don't want to Alexstrasza them after that. But maybe it's supposed to be more of a one or the other kind of card, where you can run Alexstrasza or you can run Iron Juggernaught. I do think that primarily this card would want to be used in control decks, because if you're playing an Iron Juggernaught on turn 6 on a face warrior, you don't want too many turns to go on after that. And if you're only playing 2 or 3 turns after you play this guy, the odds of their opponent actually drawing the mine are not all that likely. But in any kind of warrior deck that runs mechs, especially a control warrior, you might want to consider running this guy. 10 damage is a lot of free damage, and once your opponent gets hit by that, maybe you can prepare by having the cards ready to burst your opponent down right as soon as they suffer the damage. That kind of playstyle isn't too unlike the current use Alexstrasza, and then on the following turn use Grommash Hellscream, followed by a Cruel Taskmaster in order to pretty much kill your opponent outright strategy. But since most of these decks are going to be shifting around a lot, it's possible that there'll be more of a control mech deck, and in a mech deck this guy could be even better than Alexstrasza, simply because there are so many cards that buff up mechs or synergize with other mechs. His stats aren't even that bad. 6/5 for 6 mana is okay. And the 8/8 stats you're getting by playing Alexstrasza isn't really anything special anyway. So in some circumstances, this might be the better card to play. You could also try running a deck where you run both of them, and then one of your win conditions is to draw either Alexstrasza or the Iron Juggernaught. Though if you ever got both in the same hand, one of them might end up being a dead card, but that isn't too big of a deal since you're just trying to finish your opponent off in the first place. Now as far as Arena Mode goes, I think this will be a very solid draft pick, because Arena Mode tends to go on for so long that you're going to go through a lot of cards in your deck, and that means there's a good chance for this mine to actually proc. If your opponent takes 10 damage suddenly when they weren't expecting it in Arena, they might be in trouble. It might completely dictate how the rest of the match goes, because your opponent will suddenly have to start playing defensively, and it might already be too late because you might be able to finish him off with, say, a Arcanite Reaper or something like that. I think that this will be a very cool card for new warrior decks to play around with. Can't wait to see it in action. I've been Dark Skeleton, hope you enjoyed watching, and if you enjoy my videos, please consider donating to my Patreon. I'll see you all next time.